This is coverage you can count on. WGAL News 8 at noon starts now.
Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Brian Roach, looking live from our Skycam network. Quiet out there now. In fact, it's a pretty nice day at the moment, but that may change later, which is why the storm team has made today an impact day. Here's meteorologist Ryan Argenti.
Yeah, certainly. Good afternoon, everyone. And like Brian said, yeah, we're seeing some blue skies and some puffy clouds out there, but that's setting us up to setting us up in terms of the stage of some potential scattered and some potentially severe weather for today. We in the Susquehanna Valley have our southeasternmost portions highlighted in a level 3 out of 5 severe risk today for severe weather. The timing specifically is going to be 2 p.m. until 8 p.m. The coverage is going to be scattered storms, but the main threat here is going to be damaging winds with some smaller threats or lower threats of hail, flooding, and a very low threat for a brief spin-up tornado for the Susquehanna Valley. So here's our predictor just to time things out for you. Here's 2 o'clock. We're starting to see some pop-up cells starting to come in onto the predictor, but here is when that severe weather will really start to kick up, is right in the middle of the afternoon, getting into the early evening hours, and you'll see that'll be lasting up until about 8-9 o'clock this evening as we get into the rest of the day today. Here's the radar right now, and here's a live look. I'm looking off towards the southwest, where you can see some of those storms are already starting to race towards the Susquehanna Valley as we get into the rest of this afternoon into the evening. So expect some of those strong to severe storms today. Getting into the weekend, it's a dry weekend, but we'll be building in the summer heat, and the next week it's going to be hot and humid with feels-like temperatures into the 100s, but we'll have more on that in my full forecast coming up here in just a few more minutes.
Harrisburg Pike has reopened after a sinkhole led to a crash in East Hempfield Township, Lancaster County. Here's a look at the scene last night. We're told the sinkhole was caused by a water main break that happened in the same area on Monday. Emergency dispatchers say at least 2 vehicles were involved in the crash, including an EMS vehicle. The crash happened just before 11 last night between McGovernville Road, Route 741, and Hemlock Drive. No one was hurt. The road has since been reopened. Gettysburg Police in Adams County are asking for your help identifying the person that you can see here on your screen. Police believe that person was involved in a burglary they say happened around 5 yesterday morning on Chambersburg Street. A man wanted for burglary in York is in custody. York police say numerous tips led to the arrest of Scott Miller Jr. Miller was wanted in connection with a home burglary in the 600 block of Vander Avenue June the 3rd. Police say along with the tips, surveillance video helped ID Miller. In Commitment 2025 coverage, Harrisburg Treasurer Dan Miller is set to hold the second of 2 meetings tonight as he considers running as a Republican in the city's race for mayor this fall. Miller narrowly lost the Democratic primary last month to incumbent Mayor Wanda Williams. Miller, though, did receive enough Republican write-in votes to win the Republican nomination.
Almost since the election day, people have reached out to me, and everywhere I go, they tell me, you know, we want you to run, we want to have a choice, etc. So today is just sort of like let's see what people really want to do.
Miller says these meetings are for people interested in volunteering for a possible fall campaign. The Central York School District is increasing its security measures. The district posted on Facebook that York Excavating will be installing security bollards like what you see right here, these rounded cement balls. These are the objects that you see here around the main entrances to each of the district's schools. They say these bollards will help prevent unauthorized vehicles from accessing the buildings and protect the students who use those areas frequently during the school year. The school says the project was only possible thanks to a grant from the Pennsylvania Commission on Crime and Delinquency. Americans caught in the crossfire in the Middle East are heading back to the U.S. today. A cruise ship took 1,500 people from Israel to Cyprus. And from there, many people boarded a plane that was bound for Tampa, Florida, which landed this morning at the international airport there. Israel's defense minister is threatening Iran's supreme leader. This comes after Iranian missiles damaged a hospital in southern Israel and hit residential buildings near Tel Aviv. At least 240 people were wounded. Meanwhile, Israel struck a heavy water reactor linked to Iran's nuclear program. And as the president weighs joining in Israel with its fight with Iran, thousands of U.S. troops are stationed in northern Iraq along the Iranian border in what would become the front lines in a U.S. attack. NBC's Keir Simmons has more on this from Iraq.
Hey there, we are around 2 hours from the Iranian border, and in that direction is one of the U.S. bases closest to Iran. Around 3,000 international forces are based there. Here in Iraq, pro-Iranian militia threatening US forces here in the region if the US intervenes in the war with Iran. Meanwhile, in Israel, an Iranian rocket hitting the hospital, the Soroka hospital in southern Israel. Israel now saying more than 65 Israelis have been injured overnight. In Iran, Israel continuing to target the Iranian nuclear program overnight as President Trump weighs up whether to use those bunker-busting bombs that may be able to destroy the Fordo nuclear site inside Iran. Israel's defense minister putting a different light on it, saying that the supreme leader can no longer be the ruler of Iran. Keir Simmons.
Taking a live look in Harrisburg right now, where the city is holding a Juneteenth celebration to commemorate the end of slavery in the United States. Today's event is to celebrate family, culture, and community. Harrisburg's Juneteenth celebration continues tomorrow and Sunday. But Juneteenth is not just a day off of work, it's also a time for remembrance. Amy Kiley has more on today's significance.
More and more people in our community are starting to understand the importance of this holiday.
Today is Juneteenth, a time to commemorate the end of slavery in the U.S.
On June 19, in 1865, the last of the enslaved people of African descent in Galveston, Texas, got word of the signing of the Emancipation Proclamation, which happened 2 years earlier.
It's a celebration of freedom and a day to remember those who came before us.
Juneteenth is the oldest celebration of its kind, but the nation's youngest federal holiday. A law President Joe Biden signed in 2021 gives it the official name Juneteenth National Independence Day. Biden credits advocates like Opal Lee for making that happen.
None of us are free until we're all free. And we're not free yet. There are too many disparities.
Juneteenth is not a permanent state holiday everywhere. For instance, in West Virginia today,
state workers have to report to work, but county buildings where many state workers do work are closed.
Across the country, some celebrations are scaled back this year. Organizers cite safety concerns and growing resistance to diversity, equity, and inclusion initiatives.
It's important for all of us to stand up, to say we will not turn back.
To make sure you win the race and run your mile. That's what Juneteenth is about.
I'm Amy Kiley reporting.